Welcome here on the show 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni G. Shafe. Well, looking at that particular video there, always good to promote our own sport, no matter how it is. We just have to continue to push to see how we can get it right when it comes to sport development in Nigeria. Looking at the fact that grassroots sport development is the bedrock of how you can get those talents to become world beaters or world stars. Well, we look at a lot of stories. Just yesterday, the draw for the CHAN 2025, some people call it 2024. Well, I was done yesterday over there in Nairobi, Kenya, where all the teams right now, 16 teams, they've been able to know where they belong, why the remaining wide card will be determined before the competition starts. CHAN 2025, Nigeria to battle Senegal, Congo, Sudan in Group D. Well, the big one about this particular Group D is the fact that Senegal are the defending champion of this competition. So they have a lot of experience and a lot to offer. So if you look at this group, it's really one of the group of death in this particular draw that was made yesterday. Group A, we'll take it one by one. For the fact that Kenya, one of the host nations, three nations will be hosting the CHAN, the 8th African Nations Championship, the competition that involves all African football players plying their trade in Africa, African leagues. Well, Group A, we have Kenya, Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia. What a group rather. You look at Kenya, the host nation, they have the massive support of the home team and their supporters always will be there to support them. Morocco, they won it before, so they also have the experience of this competition. Angola, you can't write them off, DR Congo, and Zambia. If you look at this particular CHAN, the reason why it's a bit dicey is because all the teams, all the clubs in Africa, all the league clubs, actually they are in Africa. So it's very tough. You look at the leagues, each of the clubs being represented by these players, and it's always a very tough one because all the leagues want to showcase their talent. Like we're showcasing it. We started with Group A, Kenya, Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia. What a group there. Kenya getting the home support, Morocco, former champions, Angola with the experience of their league, DR Congo, remember they have a particular team called TP Mazembe, very, very formidable, even though this season is not too good with them, but still watch out for DR Congo, the team from there, because they have a very strong league too, and Zambia too, they have a very strong league. So the reason why CHAN is a bit dicey and tougher than the normal when it comes to AFCON is that almost all the players are ruggedly prepared for this competition. You look at the leagues, they are all ready. And you look at Group B, Tanzania. If you check Tanzania League, if you look at how CAF Interclub and CAF Interclub competitions are actually being done, you look at the teams coming from Tanzania, that they are really doing well at the CAF competition. So watch out for them. Madagascar, Mauritania, Burkina Faso. That's another nation that have a lot of talented players. Central African Republic as another group, another nation in Group B. Right now, as we speak, Central African Republic, they have Rigobert Song as their national team coach, who also want to at least put an eye on this team with his experience as a former footballer. What to expect from that particular nation there. Well, Group C, Uganda. Okay, Tanzania is another hosting nation, so they have the massive support from the home team. And you have in Group C, Uganda, another host nation. Three nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda will be co-hosting. So expect massive support from Uganda fans who will be trying to support their team. Well, still looking at that particular Group C, Niger Republic and Guinea are also very strong teams who will also be trying to see how they can make it. And remember, only 2 nations can qualify from this particular group, in all the groups rather. Well, for the remaining 2 teams here, the wild card, they will have to play their games and see who makes it to this particular Group C. Then they will all fight for 2 slots that is available. Now, Group D, let's go back to our group now, looking at Group D, which is the main main group that we're going to be focusing on. Senegal, Congo, and Sudan, and also our own Team B, Super Eagles Team B, or Chan Eagles, as we call them. Senegal, like I said, they are the defending champion of this particular competition, and they will be trying to see how they can prove to everyone that winning it for the last time, that moment, wasn't just a fluke. They want to continue to win more. And you know how, when it comes to football, Senegal, you can't just underrate them. The Teranga Lions alone want to put their experience to these lads, and they want to also prove a point. Congo, another nation with a very strong league. Sudan, remember they have the likes of Al Hilal there. And you look how the players ply their trade there also, even though they come from different nations, at least for the fact that they are playing in that particular country, we also add spice to the team of Sudan. Then we look at Nigeria. Our Eagles Team B, or Chan Eagles, they've been in Kenya, in their camp there right now. As we speak, yesterday they play a game against Sunshine Stars. They were able to win that game. And you have all the players being together and trying their best to see what they will do. But really, can they win this competition? Can they do it? From the way it is, we've seen Coach Electrical Fidelis and Coach Ogumodede trying to put their own imprint on these particular players to see how they will do for this competition. As it is, a tough one it is. But they also have Eric Chell, the new Super Eagles coach, who will also be supervising, not taking over their role anyway, but he will be supervising and giving advisory role to the 2 coaches. Right now, joining us to talk sport this hour, we have Joseph Peter, our usual suspect on the show. Good to have you, Joseph. We've been talking about Chan. So, Joseph, let's have it with you. Joseph, are you there? Okay, so we are still waiting for him to actually join us. We're looking at this particular competition, Chan 2024. Big one coming up in 2025. That'll be in August. They actually postponed it, coming from CAF. That postponement came from CAF just 2 days ago, that they will make sure infrastructure are really put in place ahead of this competition. Don't forget, at least just as a reminder, that Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, they will be co-hosting. Aside that, they will also be co-hosting Nations Cup. So they want to make sure all the facilities put in place ahead of this competition are also in good hands, at least before that time. So they're trying to see how everything will be ready, the hospitals, looking at the infrastructure of the stadium, and every other thing that they will need to at least put in place ahead of this particular event that is coming up in August. Well, for Nigerians, we just believe that our team can do it, and that's why we have to look at the prospect or the chances of Super Eagles Team B ahead of the remaining 3 teams that will be joining us there: Sudan, Congo, and Senegal. Okay, Joseph Peter is here. Joseph Peter, Before you came back, we're talking about Chan Eagles being a very tough group. They have Senegal, defending champion in that group. They have Sudan, and down the race, Sudanese league, very strong. And also Congo is also there. So as it is, do we have any chance to make it in this group? Only two teams will cross over.
Of course, we have a chance to make it in this group.
Okay,
This is Nigeria. So it's not just of any other random African country. We are a footballing nation. We are known to perform in any kind of football competition, especially when it is not the top hierarchy, which is the Super Eagles. So for me, I think Nigeria would have it, maybe tough, but I think they will make it among the first two nations to qualify. Maybe you would want to look at the other teams and think, okay, they are very difficult to play against. Yes, but we too are very difficult to play against. The league may not be up there with the Moroccan, the Algerian, and the Egyptian league, but we have fine and good footballers that can actually handle this.
Now, yes, we have good footballers, but remember that all of them actually apply their trade in Africa. The reason why this competition is very, very tricky is the fact that almost all the players, not one, a single one from the foreign land, they are all in Africa applying their trade in the clubs, in their that's in their nations, and they will all be coming to see who is much more. And this is it's like this is a complete pure African football. Nothing like Oyibo football here. So everybody comes to showcase their talent. In this group, you said we can scale through. So if you are to pick two teams, although no more minnows in football. So remember that as we want to pick the two. If we are to delete two and pick two, let's have our group again. Let's have group D there. As we're talking about this, pick two and drop two.
Okay, you were saying it's not just football, all over the world with foreign players coming to play their trade. This is strictly down to our local players, and that maybe means you are speaking about how our league is not up there with those other leagues and those other countries we are going to play against. But I will tell you that individually, you find the best group of players in Nigeria. No any other place has footballers on the street and all around like Nigeria. If you speak of talent, we have it. It's not the fault of the players that the league is not up to the standard that it is, but that does not take away anything from them. They are very, very good players, and I believe that yes, they would go through from this particular group, and they will do it comfortably. However, I would want to consider Senegal as the next opponent that would be qualifying alongside Nigeria to the next round. That's to answer your second question. And why I go for Senegal is because when you speak about doing something good in age grade football, you also have to think of Senegal. As you consider Morocco, you also look at Senegal. They've been producing young talents, and their league is quite difficult and tough too. So yes, I would go for Nigeria and Senegal to come out from this particular group instead of Congo or Sudan.
Okay, we've been talking concerning this particular Chan draw that was made yesterday over there in Nairobi, Kenya, where all the 16 teams are right now. They know where they belong. There are many white cards that will be joining, 3 white cards will be joining them. Now let's go back to that group, the one we actually have from the in-house quickly, so that we'll be able to look at the groups now. Then at least since you are able to pick Nigeria and Senegal in the group D, let me take you back, Joseph. In Group A, Kenya, Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, Zambia. This is very dicey for you. In fact, a lot of people have actually tagged this group the group of death, because you look at Morocco, Zambia, DR Congo. Remember, that's a particular club from DR Congo, Angola, and then Kenya. So which two are you taking here?
If you want to look at this group in the sense of the performance when it comes to standard of league, you probably would not even pick the Kenya there. You would maybe look at Congo and Morocco, just because of the standard of their league. But you cannot count Angola out. That is the thing. I look at this Angolan team, and I do not know them, when it comes to player by player. But I believe that Angola has this thing with about producing very very good squad when it comes to a competition, and I just have this kind of expectation from the Angolan national team. It doesn't matter that we have TP Mazembe in Congo, I think, or whatever, but I think the Angolan team, for me, would be the team I would pick again, alongside the Moroccans, just because of the exploit that the Moroccans have been doing lately when it comes to football. They have been developing quite well, and I'm quite sure that their league is up there also. So maybe they should be the one to top the group alongside Angola, not minding whatever they are Congo or Zambia can present.
A tough one it is in that particular group A. Well, Tanzania, Madagascar, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, and Central African Republic. Joe, this is another one.
If you look at this group, you probably want to think this is where the whole minnows are kind of gathered. You just cannot predict this group, and groups like this turn out to be the most exciting group because every particular team that comes from this particular nation has a chance. Because if you look at it, you probably would think the biggest thing when it comes to, or the biggest country when it comes to football in this group would be Burkina Faso, right? So, but how many teams, how many African CAF competitions have teams from this particular country won? Basically there are no much history as to that. So yeah, this is, for me, will be an exciting team. Why? Because it's majorly an exciting group because it is the group where every other nation stands a chance. So I'm not going to go for any nation here. I'll just watch out and enjoy it and see what will come out of this particular group.
What's the political way of dodging that particular group there, Joseph? Trying to keep away from picking two. Okay, Uganda, Nigeria Republic, Guinea. Then we actually white card 2 and 1. They will be played, and then they determine those two nations that will be joining this particular group. So far, Nigeria Republic, Guinea, and Uganda will also be locking horns in Group C. But for Group D, Senegal, Congo, Brazzaville, you have Sudan and Nigeria. Well, hopefully, the Chan Eagles will make us proud, and we just want to see them doing well. According to the coaches, they will do everything possible to make sure the team actually qualify from that group. We wish them the best. That draw was made yesterday, and we just have to look at it, how it was made, at least Senegal, Congo, Sudan, and Nigeria. What a tough one there. Well, all right, now let's come back home and look at what's happening in our own league. Although this time around we're talking about women football, NWFL. That's the next story we're looking at. That has to do with our women league starting yesterday. Actually kicks off yesterday. NWFL 2025 Premiership. Edo Queens, they did so well. They are showing why they are the best right now in Nigeria. Edo Queens, Robo Queens shred opponents. Looking at the result of games that was played yesterday, 23 goals were scored on day one. And you look at the result there, Bayelsa Queens, Pip Delta Queens 1-0. That was a tough one because both teams seems to be ready, but it was Bayelsa actually triumph in that game. They are courtesy of Fiat Idris, who scored in the 94th minute for Bayelsa Queens. Rivers Angels defeated Ibom Angels 2-1. And you look at the goal scorer, Helen Daniel, own goal, and you have Ifeoma Ikenekwelu, who actually scored, while Joy Michael also had an own goal. Well, for Rivers Angels, they were lucky enough to get 2 goals, and they were at least winning against Ibom Angels. Ekiti Queen, peeped against Adlan Queens, courtesy of Odunayo Olaleye in the 41st minute. 74 minutes there, while Conference Queens lost at home in Aiba, Kogi State, where they lost against Remo Stars Ladies, who came so and conquered 3-1 in that particular encounter. Hidayat Olarewaju, Olasubomi Ogundele, and Oluwase Yarubo scoring those goals, while you have Olamide Bolaji also making one there to make it 3-1 in favor of Remo Stars Ladies. Nasarawa Amazons in Lafia, they peeped Danas Ladies from Lagos 1-0, courtesy of Shola Shobowale, who scored for them in the 98th minute. Dot on the time. Adamawa Queens play 1-1 against Nigeria Tels, where Tumininu, Additional, and Injimako Uminenge scoring those goals for those teams. Edo Queens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 showcasing why they are the best right now. You can't take that away. That team seems to be so fortified against Abia Angels. 5 goals were scored, course of Miracle Sani. MMSCN, watch out, remember that name at the CAF Women Champions League. Guinness Osigwe, Lovett Edet, and Kafayat Mafishere, of course. Looking at those players who did well at the CAF Women Champions League, they've also started on a very good note, while Benue Queens, also in Lafayette, although their game was played earlier on before Nasarawa Amazon defeated Danas Lady, lost their game by 5 goals to nil. Robo Queens that came visiting from Lagos, they were able to dominate that game and they won 5-1. Favon Kocha, Tosin Rafiu scoring a brace, Anastasia Emefo, and you have Kemi Adebui making 5 goals, while Benue Queens were able to at least put one by Miriam Yahaya for them at least to make it 5-1 in those encounters. Well, 23 goals scored in match day 1. Joseph, that's a good one. Starting on the goal rush for women football on day 1. A lot of goals, especially coming from Edo Queens and Robo Queens of Lagos.
Usually you would expect those teams to be the one, rocking it in the women league, and yes, they have proven it that they are the ones who are still in the driving seat of football when it comes to, the country, Nigeria. So yeah, you expect teams like the Edo Queens and Delta Queens and Rivers Queens, all those ones are the ones that usually win, and they have set the pace now, and the battle continues. We'll see what will happen, who will be the champion this year again, whether it will be a repeat of last year or the defending champions will be ousted for another champion. We will all see, but it's nice to see the women football back, and we are here to enjoy it.
Seriously, it's good to see women football back, and I love the fact that a lot of things have been put in place to make it better. Clubs are actually getting all the accolades they need to get, and the biggest one, the fact that from now henceforth we'll be seeing at least 1 or 2 matches for every week being at least showcased on TV. I'm talking about women football. That's a good move from the organizers, right?
A very, very good move from the organizers. This is a development that we should be celebrating, because this encourages the footballers and the clubs to put more energy, and then this kind of brings some kind of sensitization to the league itself, because when these referees and the officials know very well that the world is seeing, then they tend to get more serious, more motivated, and try to give their best. So yeah, it's a very, very good development there, and we are happy for it, and we hope that it continues from a match to maybe 2, and then maybe to a time where we will be seeing the whole male and the female league on our TV to enjoy, and that kind of motivates you to want to go to the grounds also. If you have access to these games and you enjoy them, why not? If one of them is played around you, of course, as a football fan, you have time, you may want to just go to those stadiums and see it for yourself. So yeah, it's a very, very good development from this particular the dispensation, or this particular administration of the Nigeria Football League Association.
Well, seriously, looking at the NWFL Premiership Day, Match Day 1 results, alongside Joseph Peter joining us, and really a good one, at least starting on a very good note, where the organizer Dimi Feed agreed that they will be having at least a match on TV to at least showcase the talent of these ladies, and to go a long way to boost their morale. When you know that people will see them, they want to at least sell themselves too. That's a good one. They are coming from organizer. We've seen clubs unveiling so many players, and also unveiling jerseys here and there. Hopefully, it continues to get better. The NWFL Premiership it has started, and we have all the teams battle ready to see who stays top there. Well, can Edo Queens sustain it? They've started on a very good note now. Can they continue to do well? And other teams too, so that we can have a better slot at the CAF Women Champions League later in the year. Wishing all the team the best, although it has started. It's a marathon. Let the best thing win. From there, let's talk about sport development in Nigeria, especially focusing on grassroots sport. Grassroots sports is the advent of the National Sports Commission that was actually replaced the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. Now, the NSC are deeming fit to be at least having meetings with various federations. And that's why just yesterday we have Grassroots Sport Development, DICO means Karate Federation. Karate Federation of Nigeria are trying to see how they can also key into the dream of NSC and also make sure all the round pegs in round holes are always actually working together. For the fact that the grassroots sport development, that's where we can get it right, because different sporting moment that we have in Nigeria, a lot of talented sportsmen and women can only thrive if we go to the grassroots, at least key in and get those talents, very raw, crude talent, develop them and make them world beaters. Joseph, you look at these moves by all the federations. This is Karate Federation meeting with the NSC chairman, Shehu Diko, and also not forgetting others who have been meeting with him in a way to see how they can work hand in hand to develop Nigerian sport, especially focusing on the grassroots.
This is, awesome. I just cannot, praise the NSC-led Depot for what they've been doing, what they have been achieving. It's massive, It's not just football, it's every sport now, and you see them trying to put energy, trying to put in resources, and try to motivate these athletes and making sure that competitions are held. And, young athletes like this are being developed and, brought to the limelight. So this is what we've always expected. This is what we've always prayed for. And we are finally seeing a day where we have a commission that is actually serious about, the sports in this country. So it's very nice to see this happen, and it can only bring more progress and success to the whole entire sporting, aspect of this country. And it will all not just, bring success, but it will also kind of help in, bringing sanity to the society, because, there are a lot of young men that are involved in these sports, and that gives them something to do, that gives them a target, that gives them a life purpose. And that makes them, engage in one thing or the other, which keeps them away from any kind of madness that may come from the society. So yes, this is a welcome development. I cannot be happy enough with this particular commission and what they've been doing, and I wish them the very best, and I hope that it continues.
Seriously, trying to see how sport can get better in Nigeria. Karate Federation meeting with the NSC and at least all the other sports, like Joseph said, a different sport that we have. Not everyone will play soccer, so we just have to find a way to develop them grassroots-wise, and that's why the NSC are trying to go grassroots, trying to see how they can get all these athletes, giving them that support that they deserve, and also giving them all the platform, facilities that they can train with. They are trying to put things in place ahead of all the competitions that will be coming up later, because we just have to go and look at inward. Rather, we need to look inward, get those talented sportsmen and women, aside the fact that not all of them have people in place that could speak for them. But if we really beam our searchlight deeper and deeper, we can get best of the best and begin to get all those the ones that have actually aged to be replaced by the young ones. And before you know it, we dominate. We have what it takes. With all the population alone can help us. And you look at all the young lads. This is you look at taekwondo, karate. Earlier on, we saw gymnastics. All those gymnasts are running. The very young ones running around. We have weightlifters, judokas across Nigeria, table tennis players in different sports, fencing. You look at it. We have all what it takes. All we need is to get at least right people in place to see how they can administer better ways of this athletes' lifestyle, and for them to do well, get them to competitions, make sure their welfare is catered for, and also make sure they get what it actually they deserve after winning competitions. Good one, they are coming from the NSC, and also meeting up with Karate Federation and every other sport. Recently, they actually reshuffle all the secretary generals of all the federations across Nigeria, try to see how they can at least give their best, get them to be challenged, make the federation to be competitive, and at least make them work for the development of sport in this nation. Away from that, at least looking at Nigerian sport for the past 28 minutes, we've been talking about Nigerian sport development, and now let's cross over and move to Europe, where we talk about matches that actually took place yesterday. First of all, Joseph, let me greet you, of Gunners, right?
You don't have any choice but to greet me this time around. At least you don't have a bullet to fire at me. So you cannot ask me now if we win the league or not.
Okay, can you still win the league? Are you still winning?
No, I've given you an answer for that already.
No,
you don't need to drag me back to throw it at my face.
I want you to say it again with all confidence that okay, we can win it. Can you still win it?
No, no. As long as Saka is not in that team, I'm not, staking on the league.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Saka is your savior right now because Bukayo Saka is injured, so Arsenal is out.
Every other team has their best player. If you take away Mohamed Salah from Liverpool, they won't do anything. If you take away Palmer from Chelsea, nothing for them. If you
Oh
take
my
away
goodness.
Fernandes from United, nothing.
Why you do mention Pap? I didn't talk about Chelsea. I'm focusing on Arsenal. Oh my God. Okay, who would you pick in Man United? Okay, you have picked Cole Palmer as the best player for Chelsea. If he's out, Chelsea is out. According to you, Bukayo Saka is out. Arsenal is out from the race. So Man United, who are you picking?
Fernandes. If Fernandes goes
Okay.
out, United will go to relegation.
What about Manchester City? Which player would you pick as your best player now?
Their best player is out already. That's why they are having it all this way. Rodri is their best player. Everybody thought it's De Bruyne. I've been saying it for years. It is Rodri. Rodri is the problem.
Okay. Hopefully, Joseph will be back. Actually, throwing some banter at least alongside before we look at the games that was played yesterday. There, at least just to make the
Because if he settled De Bruyne and Haaland.
Okay, go on, Joseph.
Yeah, so I said, I have been saying it for years that Rodri is the best player. Stop Rodri and you stop Man City. People have not been getting it. Everybody's focus has been on De Bruyne and Haaland. But if Rodri settles in a game, then De Bruyne and Haaland gets to do whatever they like. So I have been proven wrong because ever since Rodri left, went on an injury, long spell injury. Look at what has been happening to Man City team. They basically have not been doing anything serious. So yeah, for me, it's Rodri for City.
Okay, at least good to start that particular league with that particular banter there. Now, let's look at it properly. Looking at the result of yesterday, we start from your team. Okay, let's look at the result, the story there. Premier League, Arsenal triumph in North London derby, ends run of misery. The misery is over. According to what they did yesterday, they've been able to win against Tottenham Hotspur. It was a good one there. Trossard getting that goal, the winning goal for them. And you look at that game, Joseph, if you were to rate your team and in all the entirety now, statistics-wise, goals, performance, and all that, what would you give Arsenal in that game against Tottenham Hotspur?
If you are speaking, based on isolation, as per this game alone, then I would probably rate them, 60 against, 40. The reason why I would go 60 is because this is not the best, performance by an Arsenal team. They created a lot of chances. They didn't take them. Kai Havertz goes on missing chances as he has always been doing for the most recent week. And even, Odegaard Trossard that, scored the winning goal is not at his best. And yes, we've not even seen the best of Odegaard yet. So yeah, they basically kind of were able to, scramble up a win against Tottenham, but it wasn't the best of performance. So I'll rate them 60 only because they won the game and got the 3 points and covered a bit of space in between them and Liverpool.
That's a very fair analysis. At least you are not trying to be a gunner, then you begin to ascribe unnecessary points to them. Now, looking at the result, let's start from the top. Everton, surprisingly, at the Goodison Park, lost against Aston Villa. A particular player, Oli Watkins, being able to turn things around for Aston Villa. They conquered Everton. While a lot of people were looking at maybe the return of Moyes to turn things around right now, it's as if they are not getting it right at all.
Something is fundamentally wrong with the Everton, squad, and until it is fixed, even if they go back and bring Guardiola to that team, he can't do anything with the crop of players that they have right now. They have this habit of letting their best players go without replacing them. I'm speaking about Anthony Gordon. Ever since they let him go, they haven't replaced him. And the striker with whom they expected a lot of goals from is always injured. That's in the person of Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, they need to go out there and sign a prolific striker. I understand that they hired Beto, but Beto is not prolific and Beto is not versatile. So yeah, until they fix that issue, they won't go far. Because if you speak about defense, they have one of the best defenders in the league right now. But their attack is nothing to write about. And so you'd expect things like Aston Villa who really are not exactly having it good, but with fine strikers in the presence of Oli Watkins and John Duran doing quite well to come to the Goodison Park and get to take the whole 3 points. It's disappointing to Everton, but it is what it's going to be if they don't fix their scoring problems.
Well, same thing happened to Leicester City. Joseph, Crystal Palace, Guehi among the scorers there. What's happening to Leicester? Crystal Palace too seems to be rejuvenated. They were able to do it well, coming as a visitor, and they pulled a very smart one against Leicester. 2-0, 3 points.
The truth is, if you look at the back four of Leicester City, you would understand why they would ship in goals. Lots of mistakes, a lot of players with no pedigree of the Premier League. Their pedigree is below that of the Premier League. It's strictly that for the Championship or even less. So yeah, until they fix their defensive problems, I don't think they would go far. The change of coach, or by bringing in Van Nistelrooy, will not change anything if the defense is not tied up. Until defense is tied up, until he is able to do that, and right now I might say that there is an opportunity for him to do that because we're in the January transfer market. They can work on one or two good players to come and play for them in the defense. Because in the midfield they are kind of versatile, and in the attack, I can say yes, they have a bit of threat. But until they fix their defensive problem, just like Everton who are having defense but no attack, then they will, be having it, bad, and probably will get relegated again if they don't fix that.
Seriously, a big one for Leicester, and also Everton not getting it right now. They just have to at least fortify themselves right now for them to do well. Looking at the results of games played just on Wednesday. Now, Newcastle United, that team, they seem to be so prepared right now for this season. And you look at Isak Alexander and Gordon, the player you mentioned that Everton are yet to replace, is doing so well with Newcastle United at St. James Park. They were able to win that game 3-0. And you look at Isak too, becoming a world-class striker. What can you take out of this game?
This is a brilliant thing. We all thought, the Newcastle squad is going to, maybe depreciate this season more. Maybe they will go on a downward trajectory, but they have proved us wrong. The coach has proved us wrong because he has been able to, kind of create a balanced squad where from the goalkeeper down to the attack, there are one or two players, or I would say from the defense down to the attack, there are one or two players that are in the form of their life. If you look at the defense, the bonds, if you look at the midfield, you look at Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes, doing quite well. Come to the attack, Anthony Gordon and Alexander Isak, a player which Arsenal should have signed but refused to sign him, and were missed him. Now everybody is trying to track this player and see that they can sign him. Barcelona is looking, Arsenal is looking. Why? Because of what he has been able to achieve and what he is achieving. He's scoring a goal or at least an assist in every single game for the past 10 games. This is absolutely prolific from a striker of his status. So yeah, when they replace you, they would pass the ball out from the defense to the midfield to the attack and score you, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's what they did against Arsenal a couple of days ago. That's what they've been doing, and that's what they did to Wolves, beating them 3-0 without conceding a goal. So they don't just score goals, they also stop goals. So yeah, kudos to the coach. He has been able to form that kind of thing that we saw 2 seasons ago when they were in the Champions League. That is what he has been able to, kind of recreate here, and I think they would grow and be a better team and maybe challenge for the league alongside Arsenal and Liverpool.
Seriously, for Newcastle United, they continue to sing their swan song because of the fact that players like Issa, Gordon, Guimaraes are giving them the best right now. Well, like you said, I know it's painful. You guys the fans wanted Isak to come to Arsenal, but it seems Arteta is having another mindset of his own. He's not seeing what people are seeing. And a lot of fans are saying, okay, look at Osimhen now. People are saying, go for this guy. Before you know it, another club will go for Osimhen, and then you guys will also continue to do as a Wenger style, come price and go back. But anyway, as it is, would you like Osimhen to join Arsenal?
There is no football club in the whole world, including Real Madrid, that will not want Osimhen to join. He produces goals. He also, assists goals, and his hold-up play is perfect, next to nobody. I don't think any of the strikers, including Erling Haaland, are as good as Osimhen when it comes to hold-up play. Hold-up play is very, very important, and in fact, it is the most important skill a striker can have. Because if you will be able to hold up the defender and take the ball, then it will give the two wingers and the attacking midfielder approaching the chance to, create space and actually work magic. So yeah, if you ask me, among all the strikers that are kind of mooted right now to make a transfer to Arsenal, I probably would pick Osimhen first before I would go with Victor Gyökeres of Benfica. So yeah, for me, Osimhen first.
Seriously, Osimhen, outstanding player. We just have to continue to at least push our own. Because if you look at these players, what they do, if they color of their skin should turn to white, we know what a lot of amount of money they will put on them. But seriously, Osimhen deserves to go to all these clubs that have been mentioned. But right now, we're still looking at the Premier League result of games played yesterday. Arsenal, of course, they won 2-1. And even though it's a celebration for them for the fact that they were able to get out of those mystery of not winning games, they are back to the frame. This takes us to looking at how the table is. Quickly, let's look at how the table is because they are now trying to see how they can begin to close the gap. Now, 4 points behind Liverpool and Arsenal. Joseph, I'm sure you are beginning to calculate, okay, we have 4 points behind them, right?
Yeah, I really try not to look at the table. I really try not to look at the Premier League table because, once I look at it and I see a bit of hope, I see a bit of, chance that Arsenal might close up the gap that's between them and Liverpool. Then I remember that, you'd have to win football matches actually to cover those, that gap. And right now, Arsenal are not in the best shape to do that. We have just defeated Tottenham, barely defeated Tottenham, I would say. And then our nemesis is on Saturday or Sunday. Our nemesis, because they are the ones that have always stopped us from winning the league lately. I'm speaking about Aston Villa. So yeah, our nemesis is ahead of us. Everybody thought Tottenham was the problem. I never, really thought Tottenham was going to be a problem because Arsenal have this thing that they've always won Tottenham because of the derby game, and Arsenal always beat Tottenham at home. So yeah, I was expecting that win of yesterday. I was expecting it, even though I had my doubts that it may not come and be a draw. But I was kind of, more of expectation that Arsenal should win against Tottenham because history has proven to be so. But you see the game against Aston Villa, that's where the problem will come. Would Arsenal be able to win that game without a striker? Right now, the striker that's available is Kai Havertz, and he has been missing chances that a baby can score. So yeah, seeing the team like Aston Villa, who are off the back of a win at away in Everton, very, very motivated, come to the Emirates, will probably not be an easy game for me. And quite a lot of games that are ahead. And we have a very, very stubborn coach. We were speaking about Arteta and how you go for a player and not buy him and come back. He is very, very stubborn because the one position that has been glaringly needed by Arsenal to sign a player and cover for is the attacking, that's the striker's position. And this is 3 good seasons now. Arteta has somehow managed to not achieve that feat, to not sign that particular that we need. If we had a striker, we won't be talking about Arsenal, or Liverpool leading Arsenal with 4 points right now. But he is very stubborn, and there's nothing I can do about it. But because I do not have the power to change it, only he has the power to change it. But if he gets to go out this January and sign a striker, then yes, maybe we stand a chance of covering the gaps and being in the title race with Liverpool. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just a gap that will be further expanded by Liverpool if Arsenal do not make any signing.
A big one coming from a very, very unhappy Arsenal fan there about Arteta refuses to get an outright striker to see how they can at least push for this trophy. Well, as it is, hopefully they continue to push for it. But the table is getting more interesting these days. And this is match day 21. How many matches to go? The marathon is beginning to wind up. and let the best team win. Well, quickly, let's just quickly dash our foot to Italia Serie A. Let's look at what happened yesterday. Italia Serie A, Inter Milan plays 2-2 draw with Bologna in San Siro. What a match there. They were actually thinking they were going to win this and add more points against Napoli, but it ended 2-2. Bologna came with their game plan and they were able to do it well. Joe.
I thought because of the fact that the Bolivian coach has been, I thought he would not be as tough as they have been so far, but they have proven me wrong. They were able to take a point away at San Siro. It's not every other team that goes to San Siro and wins a match, especially when you are playing against Inter Milan, not AC Milan. But they have been able to come here, take a point, and they have kind of dented the challenge of Inter Milan on the Serie A. This is football. It happens every other week in every other league. You don't expect to win every football game, even though you are the mooted champion. And that's what's happening to Inter Milan. We should expect them to drop more points. Maybe not in the next match, maybe not in the second next match, but certainly before the end of the campaign, they will lose matches. They will only do their best and hope that their opponent also gets to falter, which is normal in football. And I do not see this as any kind of, a very, very maybe loud barrier to Inter Milan winning or challenging for the Scudetto with both Atalanta and Napoli. This is kind of this holds them back. Agreed, but they have one match. They have one match at hand to play and cover the space and be of 47 points or equal points with the top, which is Napoli. And let's not forget that Napoli's best player for me, Ravashalia, will soon go to PSG. So yeah, that can be a problem. Even though Napoli have been winning without him, Conte has successfully been able to keep him on the bench and show that he can win matches without him. Yeah, but at some point you will need your prolific and most important player to work magic for you. And I think if Ravashalia gets to leave Napoli and goes to PSG, then there will be a problem for Napoli in the long run.
Seriously, for Kvaratskhelia, that deal is done to PSG. No one can take that back anymore. But for Napoli, their top players, Osimhen, Kim Min-jae, Kvaratskhelia, they've all gone right now. And for Inter, let's see what happens. 3 points, just ways it is in the Premier League, 4-3. Atalanta, well, they were singing well before, but now they begin to lose sleep, standing tall there. Lazio, Juventus, Fiorentina, AC Milan in that pecking order. Well, quickly before we go, just to touch on one story that's with the NBA, our own star player, the Tiger Star, a player, a basketballer who plays for Nigerian national team. The Tiger Star, Josh Okogie, trade to Charlotte Hornets from Phoenix Suns. That's a big one there to let you know that this particular player earns nothing less than $8.25 million this season. Actually have 2 years left with the $7.7 million next season that will be collected on the non-guaranteed contract. They actually traded the 7-foot center Nick Richard for George Okogie and 3 second-round picks, according to ESPN Basketball Insider Shams Canaria there. Okogie provides defensive versatility with his ability to block shots and steal ball, enhancing the Hornets' perimeter defense. His athleticism and rebounding skills add depth to the Hornets' front court rotation. Who won't go for a player like this? So congrats to Josh Okogie, making 6.0 points and 2.90 rebound in 14.0 minutes over 25 games this season since joining them since 2022. Congrats to Okogie, moving from Phoenix Suns to Charlotte Hornets. Joseph Peter, I want to appreciate your time with us, at least talking about Nigerian sport development and also looking at the EPL and also Italia Serie A. Thank you so much for those analysis. Once again, Joseph.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me. And yes, Arsenal may not win the league, but we are working against next season already.
Okay, let's see what happens next season. That's it on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. From the entire crew, Adeni Aji Shafe. Thanks for watching.